You know what I'd rather do than see Conan the Barbarian again?
What?
I would rather have someone do a detailed reenactment of the John Benet Ramsey murder in my ass.
I'd rather become a Latino hottie. I'll wear tight shoes and have my toes look like breasts in them. As much as I enjoyed Conan the Barbarian, I didn't enjoy it as much as falling into the Grand Canyon on my eye.
You know what I'd rather do? I think I would rather have someone tattoo the storyboards of the Smurfs on my back, postage stamp size, as much as it takes.
I would rather wake up inefficiently with Down syndromes of the hands.
I think I would rather have my left ass cheek replaced with William H. Macy, the bald version from Edmund.
I'd rather fuck Emily Watson than see Conan again.
You know what I'd rather do than see Conan again? I'd rather sit in a theater playing Conan backwards.
Instead of watching Conan the Barbarian, starring Jason Momoa all over, I would rather investigate allegations amongst the Catholic Church that they are actually a front for the Ian McShane fan club.
I would rather have every one of my fingers broken sequentially by members of the Brat Pack than see Conan the Barbarian again.
I would rather, and this is a stretch, I would rather God exist than see Conan again.
I would rather have someone predict or tell me exactly when and where I'm going to die, and that it be 5 minutes from now, than have to see Conan the Barbarian again. Hey Chewers, I just wanted to introduce a quick clip we're going to include this week of a video interview I did with Mr. John Boyega of Attack the Block. So check out, the full length thing is on the front page, so you can watch the interview in its entirety. But here's a quick clip. So outside of what Joe necessarily wanted you to prepare with, is there anything special that kind of informed your performance, or that's, you know, either been a long-term inspiration or kind of struck you right before? What kind of really drove you or motivated you? Any movies or specific performances or actors in general?
Well, so for the character of Moses, I watched season 4 of The Wire, and a lot of the characters are like Moses and are in the same circumstance, and decided to go back and watch that and try to gain as much as possible, because a lot of the actors are very subtle in their style of performance, and you know, Tristan Wiles that played Michael specifically, and Jamie Hector that played Marlo Stanfield, and those characters appealed to me because they didn't need, you could mute them and you could still know what was going on because they told the story so well. And I knew that Moses didn't have a lot of dialogue, and I knew he was a good kid in bad circumstances, and I knew he had to be menacing and rise to a hero. So, you know.
So, Conan the Barbarian sucks.
It's fucking hardship.
It's pretty damn bad. Rose McGowan's bad. Stephen Lang's bad.
Rose McGowan is the worst performance I have seen in a mainstream film in as far back as I can remember. It's embarrassing to watch. She is so ill-equipped to be in front of the camera. It's just ridiculous.
It's like high school theater acting. Just no good.
And the problem is she's not even good to look at anymore. If she was good to look at least you could find some sort of an excuse, but her ass is shit.
I'm sure it does. But even worse is the action, almost always incomprehensible, or not fun, or just, it seems like they just shot and shot and shot and then just cut. Like, it felt like the editors were tired.
And then they figured by splashing some CGI blood, it's going to win over the general public. Funnily enough, last night I was at a screening and a few people that were at Conan were saying, "Did you like it?" I was like, it was horrible. And they're like, "What? We loved it."
Yeah, there
do
seem to be some people responding it.
Are fools.
Even all the violence is swing a sword at someone and blood splatters from them. There's not a lot of actual gore. There's not an edge to it or any real intensity. And then the action is just so poorly blocked out and shot.
It's horrible. And I can't fault Momoa because he tries his hardest with limited tools. He's not bad.
Yeah,
he's just
fine.
boring.
He's a fine Conan.
He's not given anything to do. He looks the part. He's got fancy arched eyebrows, which is attractive. He's a big man. He's got a man's physique. But fuck it, man.
Yeah. But he ends up fighting a guy with an asshole on his forehead.
Yeah.
Who can yell really loud, but that's the only role.
The plot is an abomination, and they try to create these peripheral characters that are interesting, and they're horrible. Like, there's like a thief character played by Saeed Tamaguchi or whatever. He leaves with this note saying, "Hey, if you need me, give me a call," as if audiences could be like, "God, that's so awesome, he's going to be in the sequel." There's none of that. There's no development.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to create a little Pirates of the Caribbean type adventure universe.
Yeah,
and
it's Pirates of the Caribbean and Clash of the Titans but sadly doesn't have the charisma of either of those films, which is ridiculous. It's
One
almost,
of the worst love stories I've seen.
what's the girl's name from
quite a
G.I.
long
Joe?
time. I don't
Everybody
fucking
thinks
know.
she's hot. She is so wrong for this movie. Granted, nobody has an accent. Nobody's trying to portray a character in that period. The lead girl who's talking with almost like a Valley Girl kind of speak, and then you've got Stephen Lang grunting, and then you've got Rose McGowan doing whatever the hell she's doing.
Being pale.
It's just not good. And the 3D is it's almost as bad as Hitler.
It's the worst conversion I think I've seen. I did not see Clash of the Titans, but I saw Green Hornet and some of the other infamous 3D conversions, but none of them had Ron Perlman's beard floating off of his face or that shifting set of buildings.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Ron Perlman died in it. It's the first time he's died in a film.
Yeah, that didn't happen often.
It happens always. Ron Perlman is built to die.
So yeah, it sucks, and if you like it, you kind of suck.
Yeah, but you don't suck in a sexy way, like in the backseat of my car. You suck in a way like a fucking pit that takes children into the Earth's core and melts them and fucks the melt.
So Fright Night.
Yeah. Robert Rodriguez has built a movie studio in Austin, Texas. And he has the tools to do anything he wants. If he wanted to shoot a remake of Godzilla with his toolbox, he could do it. Granted, he'd probably put somebody like Rose McGowan in it and fucking ruin it. But the bottom line is, he could do it. If he wanted to remake Stakeout with Rosie O'Donnell, he could do it with his toolbox. If Robert Rodriguez wanted to do Rom Space Knight as a big budget space epic, he could do it. But what the guy does is fucking Spy Kids movies, which were never good in the first place, never featured enough craft to justify their existence, and never even did enough to justify their fan base, which is a group of people who don't really exist. All he's doing is he's capitalizing on people who have kids who want to amuse them for an hour and a half. And he knows that even though any kid worth his salt is going to hate his franchise after watching it for a year or two, he knows that there'll be another kid 2 years later. There's always new kids being fucked into existence. And those people are Robert Rodriguez's bread and butter. And all they do is feed his wallet. And it'd be understandable if the guy was able to take that money and that great studio he's built and make great movies with it. Make interesting variety of movies. But what he does is he makes dog shit. And when he doesn't make dog shit, he's still missing key elements of what can make his movies great. It's almost like a great opportunity is being wasted because it's him. Could you imagine what Edgar Wright would do with that studio and those resources? Or Guillermo? Or me? Todd Solondz? Cleavon Little? Jessica McTandy? Fuck, Jean-Benet Ramsey, anybody could do something. So why is Robert Rodriguez doing Spy Kids movies and Shark Pussy? It makes me sad because I know he's good, he's talented, he just doesn't fucking make the effort. Makes me want to scream to the heavens. Then again, he's a good-looking guy, he can cook, he's a great businessman, he's a lot more successful than I am, so who am I to judge? I think most people would rather be Robert Rodriguez than just about anybody out there, because the guy can do what he wants, he lives in his own house, comfortable in his own skin, makes the hell out of some fucking burritos, rocks out on the guitar, bangs attractive waitresses, actresses, probably fuck Ryan Phillippe if he wanted to. Just makes me sad.
I saw Fright Night. I haven't seen the original, but I really enjoyed this 3D remake.
Did it send you into convulsions of laughter?
No, it's never hugely hilarious. It's just consistently funny. There are laughs, there are chuckles. Everything is very generally amusing and fun and enjoyable. But it still has a hard enough edge that the gore is fun, the 3D gags are fun, even though it's way too dark and dim of a movie for 3D. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. There's enough subtext to make me happy. It's not perfect, but it's a really great little ensemble, a unique little vampire film.
Colin Farrell, delightful.
Great. Doesn't have a huge range of things to do as I would expected, but he has a lot of very small moments with the characters that say a lot. For example, there's a scene where he's just he can't be invited into the house, so he's standing outside of a door talking to Charlie. And in the context of the film, it's just this great awkward moment where both the characters know what's up and what's happening, but nobody's really outright saying it, and it's just really unnerving and creepy. And
so you recommend it?
I definitely recommend it.
All right, well, that's great. I'm going to go tell these people about Sons of Anarchy. I'm a lucky man. I've got my health. Take a look at me. I'm fucking amazing. I've got my youth. I've got my height. And I get discs of Sons of Anarchy sent early because they know that I'm a mover, a shaker, and a peppermint maker. So they sent me the first 3 episodes of the new season of Sons of Anarchy, which airs in early September. And as somebody who has kept up with the show and has followed it, I have some comments on what they're doing with the new season. And I'm glad to say that it seems like Kurt Sutter and his gang is very aggressive about progressing the story. They're adding layers of shading. They're giving some conflicts that weren't there before, and they're allowing us to experience some really nice smaller moments too that don't feed the larger plot. Because in previous seasons, they got caught up in minutia about whether it be the Irish gun runners or infighting amongst the gang or whatever. And there's still a lot of that kind of stuff going on, but they are taking action. And you're seeing them do things. Even in the first episode, it's very bold. There's some big decisions made. And a lot of the characters get stuff to do. And Charlie Hunnam, who has been bland from time to time in the first few seasons, seems to be really stepping it up in terms of adding some depth and some shading and a little bit of aggression to his performances, which is good because they've cut his hair this episode. The season starts off with the guys getting out of prison, and he looks very pretty. And the last thing you need is for his character to be any more pasteurized than he already is. Works really well. There's some really interesting dynamics going on, and it seems like things are coming to a head amongst the members of the gang. So I'm very happy to say it looks like Sons of Anarchy Season 4, I believe, is going to be a really good one, a really aggressive one, and FX needs it with Rescue Me ending and with some of the other shows faltering a little bit. It seems like their premiere show, and this is their ratings leader, is really stepping it up. So good for us and good for people that have been critical of the show before, because I think a lot of their problems are going to be handled. So good for you, good for me. And now let me put you in my ass.
Yeah, I would rather be in a London court facing riot charges than see Conan the Barbarian again.
I'd rather watch Girl Interrupted with a rhinoceros burrowing into my pootit.
I think I would rather have a 2-hour-long uncomfortable conversation with Jason Momoa about why Conan the Barbarian sucked than watch Conan the Barbarian again.
I would rather my own son shit vomit at me in 3D while burning a cross with me on it than seeing Conan again.
I would rather the only word that I'm ever allowed to write on the internet again be ficus than to have to watch Conan the Barbarian again. I think I would rather eat some chicken from Zaxby's than see Conan the Barbarian again.
I would rather see Conan the Destroyer again.
I won't go that far. No.
Look, kiddies, it's Rodeo Joe! I just got out of prison and it's got, cows! How do I get so good at fucking cows? I drink toddy! Here you go, mister!
Thanks, mister!
Betty, this tastes like barbed wire!
It's a miracle! A chocolate holocaust!
Say, refreshments for the shunting!
And that's for you!
Howdy, mirror!